lots of topsy-turvy things going out there as he's planning for the convention. He's still trying to figure out who's the chairman of the 2nd Congressional District in Virginia. So to sort it all out, joining us now was the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, Pat Mullins. Pat, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, John, glad to be on. And I don't know whether you ever got that invitation to happy hour at the governor's mansion. If you didn't, let me tell you what you tell me off air what you like to drink. We'll be sure we have it in one of the hospitality rooms.
I'll be emailing that as soon as I get to the break. And no, I've still been stiffed by the Maxter. No happy hour, no nothing. I didn't even get a phone call. I even went to the Godfather, Saslow. He guaranteed me. The Godfather guaranteed me I would get in. Nothing.
Well, we've got, I think, 6 or 7 hospitality rooms on Friday night, so we'll try to take care of it if you get to me off air.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you so much. Let's get, we got a lot to go over, Chairman Mullins. Let's start with the 2nd congressional chairman's race between Curtis Colgate and Frank Wagner. First, we thought, well, Wagner looked like he was going to win. Then Curtis Colgate won, and you seated him. Now there was a Roberts Rules procedure. Wagner says he's chairman. What's going on?
Curtis Colgate is chairman of the 2nd District, no question. John, what happened? The convention, 700 people voted for Curtis Colgate. Let's see, 11 people convened the other night and decided that Senator Wagner would be chairman. I am not about to go down in Larry Sabato's next history of Virginia that being the only party chairman that allowed 7 people to overturn the vote of 700 people. Curtis Colgate is the 2nd District chair, recognized by the State Central Committee, only one authorized to call any meetings. He's going to get Virginia Beach authorized, and unless the State Central overrules that, he is the chairman. Until then, no question, done deal.
So Curtis Colgate is chairman.
Absolutely.
And so the Wagner team sent out basically a communique saying that there was a meeting, and they seated the executive, I guess, committee there. The 2nd District had a quorum, and they seated Wagner, and they took the slate in or something. I don't quite understand it, but but what you're saying is that's not legal or something.
That's not legal. As I say, I don't think anybody's going to sit there. It's been a problem of exclusion from the entire time this thing came up. You go into Virginia Beach, 1,000 people want to be delegates. They submit a slate of 34 people, excluding over 1,000 people. Their slate included no minorities, no college students, and a judge that wasn't even legal to be on it because judges can't participate in party stuff. It was a slate thrown together, so they knew they didn't have the votes to win. So the best way to do it is try to limit the participation. We've been talking all over this state for the last year that we've got to be an inclusive party. We've got to reach out to people. We have to practice under a big tent, particularly to our ethnic communities. And it sounds like the other side has a tent also, but it's a pup tent. It's not a big tent. It's a tent big enough for 34 people. So they go to the convention. They don't turn out delegates. Curtis wins with 700 votes. So let's try another thing of exclusion then. Let's go to the 2nd District Executive Committee, which is composed of 11 people, and let's convene that committee, and let's let 7 people out of 11 vote to seat Senator Wagner. And then again, they can overrule the 700 people that came and voted for Curtis Colgate. Sorry, I don't buy that. I don't think the State Central. It's a matter that the whole time they've been trying to eliminate people. Eliminate 1,100 people that want to go to the convention and select 34. Ignore the votes of 700 people and let 7 people decide what's going on. They can bring their case to the State Central Committee. If the State Central Committee agrees with them that we are a pup tent and not a big tent, we're a part of exclusion, not of inclusion, then at that point Frank Wagner would be seated. Until that happens, Curtis Colgate is the chairman of the 2nd District. Done deal.
So, Mr. Chairman, what you're saying is that the final complete resolution of this is going to be made by the State Central Committee, and that I would assume that's going to be at a meeting on June the 6th in Roanoke.
It will not be at the meeting on June 6th in Roanoke.
It will not.
We're coming to Roanoke to celebrate, to get ready to win, to nominate the next senator for the United States from Virginia who could control whether we have those 51 seats or not. And I am not about to let a small group of people come in there and try to disrupt what's going on and try to then go out to all the reporters and in the fashion they've been saying, call us cheats, call us whatever the names. I'm not going to give them that forum. And there are procedures I can follow that we will not be hearing that case at the 24 hours before we select our nominee for the United States Senate.
Well,
so I guess the only recourse, if they, it would seem like at some point the people that are creating all these problems would want to see us elect a United States Senator instead of bickering around about who's going to chair a committee in the Tidewater area. We should quit fighting Republicans and start fighting to get our persons elected. You've got congressional races over there with Ridgel. We should be concentrating on electing Ridgel. Mm-hmm. We should be concentrating on electing our candidate for United States Senate. And we should quit all this stuff that is a distraction. I haven't been able to do things that I've wanted to do to move this party along because we're getting daily requests for interpretations, general counsel ruling, general counsel this, that, and the other. Let's win the seat over there for Ridgel. Let's win the Senate seat for our candidate. And let's get off of all this stuff. We can look at it later on if they continue to want to look at it. But at some point, they've got to start figuring it's more important to elect Republicans than it is to spend all of our hours and time and money on trying to defeat Republicans and gain a district chair seat in Virginia Beach.
Common Sense News Time, 7:48. We're with the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, Pat Mullins, who says Curtis Colgate is unequivocally the chairman of the 2nd District of Virginia, and also that the final resolution by the steering committee is not going to be before the convention in Roanoke. Now, speaking of that convention, Mr. Chairman, that's only about a month away. A lot of people getting excited about it. Emails start to go out. And give me your thoughts. I know you guys have put a lot of time in it. By the way, I want to thank you and your staff for allowing the John Fredericks Show to be able to go there and broadcast all the action live starting at 10 a.m. We appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you coming over because we're going to have a really good convention this year. There's going to be different things that we haven't done before. We've got Kay Coles James is going to be keynoting. She's one of the most dynamic speakers in Virginia. And Ken Cuccinelli's coming in to talk, to keynote or to be a speaker on Obamacare, which should be quite interesting. Ken has been one of the foremost opponents of Obamacare, and he's going to share his thoughts on it. And then we will get into the voting. The voting is going to be by paper ballot this year. We should have that voting done within an hour, not the 2.5 or 3 hours we did the last time. We're expecting about 4,000 people there. We have a dinner on Friday night with Congressman Ryan. We've got a breakfast on Saturday morning with Rick Santorum. And it's going to 5 hospitality rooms on Friday night, and some different things within the convention that we haven't done before. We want it to be a fun convention. It's family friendly. There's no charge for kids coming. Kids can sit with their parents, and the dinners will be good. And at the end of the day, we're going to nominate the next U.S. Senator from the Commonwealth, and he well could be the 51st vote. And we will have our 3 new candidates from Northern Virginia will be on the program. John, are you aware of what they did up in Northern Virginia, what we did this past weekend there?
Well, I know you nominated a candidate in the 11th district. Can you tell our audience about that? We had her on our show on Tuesday, Suzanne
She's a very
Schulte.
dynamic lady.
Yeah, we had her on.
We nominated Barbara Comstock to run for Frank Wolf's seat, and Barbara has extremely well-connected and a good, solid, conservative, pro-life candidate. Suzanne Schulte, we nominated in the 11th district. She's got a shot at defeating Jerry Conley. Conley is not popular, and he really hasn't done anything in the Congress. We were trying to find something he'd sponsored we could attack him on, and sponsored anything. So all we can look at are all of his votes. But Suzanne has spent her life working with the different Asian communities. She's been to Vietnam, she's been to Korea, and there is a large Asian population in Northern Virginia in the 11th district that's solidly backing her. And then in the 8th district, we've nominated Micah Edmonds. Micah is a young African-American. He has served in the military, a graduate of Williams College in the Northeast, one of the great small colleges in the Northeast. The contrast of him standing beside Don Beyer, if that's who the candidate is going to be stark in the city of Alexandria and in that area. We know one thing. The vote in Northern Virginia is not going to be lopsided Democrat this time. And we've got a possibility of electing 3 congresspeople up there. And we've never, in the history of the Commonwealth, we've had 2 women serve in the GOP in the United States Congress, Thelma Drake being one of them over in your area. And we've nominated 2 this time in Virginia that both have got a good shot at winning. So we're excited about our ticket from top to bottom, and the state's getting revved up. Our meetings, our district meetings, our local unit meetings are attracting numbers that we haven't seen in years. 2 of the district meetings had to be moved to larger venues as a result of the number of people that signed up. So we're excited, and that excitement's going to show down there in that convention.
Well, let's talk about one of them, 755 John Fredericks Show with the Republican Party of Virginia Chairman Pat Mullins in the 7th District on Saturday. 1,400 people turned out. Big upset win there for 7th District now Chairman Fred Gruber. What did you make of that, sir?
I was frankly surprised. Fred is a member of my county committee in Louisa, so I know him well. Did not endorse in that one at all. Linwood has been a very good district chair. I've called on Linwood often to chair committees, to advise me on things. Linwood is quite a good chairman. Fred, I know personally, like Fred. It was a matter, I think, that what surprised everybody was Fred got his delegates to turn out.
Yes.
And Linwood's delegates didn't show in the numbers I think he was expecting them to be there. And, bottom line, John, that's what it is. When we get into primaries or conventions, it doesn't matter. You turn your delegates out, you win. Curtis turned his delegates out, he won. Senator Wagner didn't turn his out, he lost. Fred turned his out in the 7th District, he won. Linwood didn't, he lost. Chris Starnes turned his out in the 3rd District. He won. His opponent didn't. It's a turnout type thing, and I think it surprised me in the 7th District, but hey, that's how the ball game's played.
Well, it seemed like it was a fair and open
It was very
process.
fair. There were no complaints coming out of that meeting after it was over. There was sort of a little controversy there about who was going to chair the convention. Our delegate down there in that district, LaPasse, he was elected to chair it. He was the one, I think, that the 7th District wanted to chair the convention, and he did a very fair chairing of the convention. And at the end of the day, Fred won, Linwood didn't. There was nobody complaining about the process, yelling irregularities, challenging who was being seated and all that stuff. Well, they ran a convention, they selected a person, and I don't know that everybody was happy when they left. You're never happy when your candidate doesn't win, but everybody left feeling it had been done fair.
Common Sense News Time, 7:56. We're with RPV, Republican Party of Virginia Chairman Pat Mullins. Mr. Chairman, I got about 2 minutes. Who do you think are the rising stars in the Republican Party of Virginia right now? Give me your top 3.
You know, I spoke with Doug Wilder 2 or 3 years ago, and Doug is a fascinating guy. You know, sitting at breakfast with him was like being in a master's class in a college somewhere. And I made the point we had a lot of rising young stars in Virginia, and they don't within the Democrat Party. And Doug didn't agree with me, but he didn't disagree with me either. You can just look at our state Senate and our House of Delegates. You got some statewide people over there in your district. I wonder if Barry Knight's going to look at something statewide. Or some of your other delegates. I know McWaters is thinking about doing something. Rob Bell is out there. Mark Obenshane is out there. Israel Quinn over in the 9th District's a rising star. Pete Snyder's still on the scale. As we've just got a ton of people that are ready to go and are qualified to be lieutenant governors, governors, and attorney generals, which I think our next major convention is in, if that's what State Central elects to do. But in 2017, I think you're going to see 2, 3, 4 candidates vying for governor, same for lieutenant governor, and same for attorney general. And I think when that ticket is selected that year, everybody's going to be pleased with the caliber of people that are running. I know Jill Vogel, who will be chairing the convention. She would be a wonderful nominee for something on a statewide level. And I'd always thought Barbara Comstock would be our first governor, female governor, but she's chosen the route of Congress. So we've got a ton of rising stars. I could give you about 30 other names, but we won't take time to do that.
All right, and we are out of time. That is going to be the final word. We're with Chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, Pat Mullins, and we want to thank the chairman for being with us. You want more information, go to rpv.org. There's a big convention June 7th. We're going to be there live. Mr. Chairman, I'm way over my time. Again, I want to thank you for being with us.